The autumn leaves crunched beneath Marcus Bell's worn leather shoes as he made his way down Maple Street. At 70 years old, the retired teacher moved with careful precision, his mahogany walking cane tapping a steady rhythm against the cracked sidewalk. The grocery store was just 3 blocks away, same route he had taken every Tuesday for the past 15 years. "Look what we got here," a voice called out from behind him. Marcus turned slowly, his weathered hands gripping the cane tighter. 3 young men had emerged from the alley between the hardware store and the diner. The tallest one, wearing a red baseball cap, stepped forward with a sneer. "Where you think you're going, old man?" Red Cap spat, his words dripping with venom. "This ain't your neighborhood anymore." "I'm just heading to the store, son," Marcus replied calmly, his voice steady despite the tremor in his chest. "Son?" The second attacker laughed harshly. "You hear that, boss? He thinks we're family." Without warning, Red Cap shoved Marcus hard. The elderly man stumbled backward, his cane clattering to the ground as he fell onto the concrete. Pain shot through his hip and shoulder. "Give me that fancy stick," Red Cap demanded, snatching up the carved wooden cane. "You won't be needing it where you're going." The third attacker kicked dirt at Marcus's face. "Stay down where you belong." Marcus lay there, gasping, watching helplessly as they walked away with his cane, their cruel laughter echoing down the street. Across the road, he noticed a woman holding up her phone, recording everything. A man in a business suit had stopped mid-stride, his mouth hanging open in shock. "Someone call 911. The woman shouted. Detective Sarah Chan arrived within minutes, her patrol car's red and blue lights cutting through the growing crowd. She knelt beside Marcus, who was now sitting upright against a lamppost, still breathing heavily. "Mr. Bell, I'm Detective Chen. Can you tell me what happened here?" she asked, her voice gentle but professional. Marcus looked up at her with tired eyes. "3 young men, detective. They took my cane and, well, you can see the rest." He gestured weakly at his scraped hands and torn jacket. "We got it all on video," the woman with the phone interrupted, rushing over. "Every single second. Those boys should be locked up." Sarah took the witness statements and collected the phone footage. Back at the station, she ran the video through facial recognition software. Within an hour, she had 3 names: Tommy Rodriguez, Jake Williams, and their leader, Derek Mason. "Mr. Bell," Sarah called him that evening. "I need you to come in and press charges. These men have prior records for assault and hate crimes." There was a long pause on the phone. "Detective, I'm 70 years old. I just want to forget this happened." "Sir, Derek Mason has attacked 2 other elderly black men in the past year. If we don't stop him now I can't," Marcus whispered, and hung up. The next morning, Sarah found Marcus's front porch crowded with neighbors. Mrs. Johnson from next door was holding a casserole. Pastor Williams stood with his congregation members, all wearing buttons that read "Justice for Marcus." "Detective Chan," Pastor Williams called out. "We've been waiting for you. This community won't let Marcus face this alone." Through the screen door, Marcus watched the gathering. His neighbor's 10-year-old son, little David, pressed his face against the glass. "Mr. Marcus, my grandpa says you taught him to read when nobody else would. You gotta fight back, just like you taught us." 3 days later, Detective Chen knocked on Marcus's door with a manila folder in her hands. Her expression was grave as she sat across from him in his modest living room. "Mr. Bell, this wasn't random," she began, opening the file. "Derek Mason specifically asked around the neighborhood about you. He knew your name, your address, even your daily routine." Marcus frowned, adjusting his reading glasses. "I don't understand, detective. I've never seen that boy before in my life." "Derek Mason is the grandson of Robert Mason," Sarah continued, watching Marcus's face carefully. "Does that name ring a bell?" The color drained from Marcus's cheeks. His hands trembled as memories flooded back like a dam bursting open. Suddenly, he was 25 again, standing on the steps of Jefferson Elementary School in 1963. The angry crowd shouted slurs and threw bottles as he escorted 6-year-old Ruby Washington through the doors. Among the protesters, a tall man with cold blue eyes had stepped directly into Marcus's path. "You people don't belong here," the man had snarled. "I'm Robert Mason, and I won't forget your face, but you integrated the schools," Marcus whispered to himself, remembering how he'd stared Mason down that day. "You were a freedom rider." "That's right," Sarah confirmed. Robert Mason spent years trying to reverse integration. His grandson grew up hearing stories about the black teacher who could ruin everything, unquote. Marcus closed his eyes, feeling the weight of decades pressing down on him. So this was payback. 60 years later, and they're still fighting the same war. The question is, Detective Chen leaned forward, are you going to let them win? 2 weeks later, Marcus walked into the courthouse wearing his best navy suit, the same one he'd worn to parent-teacher conferences for 30 years. Anonymous threatening letters had arrived daily, but Pastor Williams and 20 community members flanked him as bodyguards. In the courtroom, Derek Mason sat slouched at the defendant's table, his red cap replaced by an orange jumpsuit. His cold blue eyes, so much like his grandfather's, locked onto Marcus with pure hatred. "Mr. Bell, please tell the court what happened that Tuesday afternoon," the prosecutor requested. Marcus stood slowly, gripping the witness stand rail. "Your Honor, they didn't just steal my cane that day. They tried to steal something much more valuable, my dignity." His voice grew stronger with each word. 60 years ago, I walked through angry mobs to help integrate schools. I faced down Derek's grandfather, Robert Mason, when he tried to block children from getting an education. Today, I'm still standing, still fighting for what's right. The courtroom fell silent. Even Derek's lawyer looked moved. "You can knock down an old man, but you cannot knock down justice," Marcus declared. The jury convicted all 3 men within an hour. The judge personally handed Marcus his carved cane back, calling him a true American hero. 6 months later, Marcus stood before a group of high school students at the community center, his cane resting against the podium. "Let me tell you about real courage," he began, and 20 eager faces leaned forward to listen.